Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Thomas Jefferson said, "If you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done." Benjamin Franklin said, "Without continual growth and progress, such words as improvement, achievement, and success have no meaning." Basically, get off your duff, get to working. You've got dreams, you've got goals. You've got to do what it takes to get them. Like, subscribe, comment, show what your opinion is. Let me know if you like what you've seen. And I thank you for your support. Howdy, folks. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Just to tell you, down below is a link tree. It's got my social media on MeWe, Facebook, Twitter, all that. And also my Patreon in case y'all want to help out. What we're going to talk about today, all the COVID frauds and all that. This particular case where a Chinese national owned a couple of businesses here in the United States and was selling COVID tests that weren't made here, even though they were claiming that they were made here, and all the weirdness associated with that. There's just so much fraud dealing with what happened with the whole COVID thing. And this is just another example of that fraud being magnified even further, especially considering this feller's a Chinese national. This is an interesting case, but we'll get into it here in just a second. Now, to start out with, this feller, Jiabei Zhu, this dude's been going through this for a while for this garbage. Okay. So from Thursday, November 16th, 2023, and yes, there's sooner stuff, but federal grand jury returned 3-count indictment today against Jiabei Zhu, aka Jesse Zhu, Qing He, and David He. All three of those names are what he's been using here in the U.S. He's 62, citizen of China, formerly resided in Clovis, which is in California, charging him with distribution of adulterated and misbranded medical devices in violation of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, and for making false statements to the Food and Drug Administration. Okay, according to court documents between January 20th and March 2023, so January 2020, and so a little over 3 years, through companies Universal Meditech Incorporated and Prestige Biotech Incorporated, Zhu sold hundreds of thousands of COVID-19 test kits to companies throughout the United States. Think about this. This dude's selling misbranded, stuff that's not approved by the FDA and did not obtain pre-market approval, pre-market clearance, emergency use authorization, or other applicable exemption from FDA as was required. UMI and PBI received millions of dollars for sales of test kits. Okay, I care less about the money from the test kits. When questioned by FDA officials, Zhu made several false statements to them, including one, his name was Qing David He, was hired by UMI as a COVID-19 consultant in 2021. He was hired by PBI just a couple of weeks prior to meeting with the FDA to communicate with government agencies on PBI's behalf. And 4, he did not know anything about the manufacturing or distribution histories of the two companies. This case is a product of an investigation by FDA official Office of Criminal Investigations with assistance from the FBI and California Department of Public Health, Food and Drug Branch. Okay, so there's all that. That's one thing. Okay, here's a release from Thursday, October 15th, 2024. Operator of Ridley Lab, this is all that, yada yada, faces additional charges of conspiracy and wire fraud after the federal grand jury returned 12-count superseding indictment today. This same feller, superseding indictment also charges Zhu's romantic and business partner, Xiaoyan Wang, 38, a citizen of China who operated Biolabs Universal MedTech and Prestige Biotech Incorporated in Fresno and Reedley. According to documents, Zhu and Wang conspired to defraud buyers of UMI and PBI's COVID-19 tests. They imported hundreds of thousands of COVID-19 tests from iDay Limited, which was a company in China that they controlled, and falsely represented to buyers that the test kits were made in the United States. They illegally imported the COVID-19 tests, which they were not approved to import, by falsely declaring them as pregnancy test kits, which they were approved to import. They also claimed that they could make 100,000 COVID-19 test kits per week in the United States, and test kits were made in connection with other labs that were certified by the CDC. Finally, they represented to the buyers that the test kits were approved by the FDA. They weren't. They made over $1.7 million through their fraud. Yeah, this is even more information into this. This is interesting, and it gets more. You know, I could keep going. There's a lot more information out there. But think about this for a minute, folks. Whatever your thoughts are on COVID-19, I'm not even going to go into the political side or any of that. The amount of fraud and criminal activity surrounding the government funds that were to be given out to folks in need during COVID-19, that reaches into probably the billions at this point. These tests are another area that we should consider as having an issue. How many people took these tests from these two companies? How many people tested either positive, negative, whatever, how many people's lives were affected? This shows what is going on in this area. All of this money. How many people are relying on this? Seriously, think about that. You're going to go compete in something, or you're going to want to go somewhere, but you couldn't because you tested positive by one of these tests. Because this was going on for over 3 years. So, how many lives were affected in far more ways? People never get their lives back from what this caused. And this just goes to show that all these people that rely on government, they only react after the bad things happen, when they didn't plan out what could have been done to prevent all of these bad things from happening. The billions in fraud, cases like this. Y'all talk about, oh, we need bigger government. Well, here's the example of why bigger government does not work. We had all of these shutdowns and everything, and this is what happened because of it. Now look, you may disagree with me. You may think, oh, we need my thought process is that we need smaller government that doesn't lead us to these kinds of situations. But that's my thought process. Yours may be different. So you should still think about what all is going on. You should know what is happening so that you can make informed choices when you go to vote. You may vote differently than me. Okay, good. You're still voting. You may disagree with me. Okay, good. Let's discuss that. But this leads to bad things. It really does. So, y'all think about that. This has been Paul, Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Folks, I just want to say thank you for listening. I want to thank you for taking your time. I want to hear what your comments are about what you think on this topic, because your comments are what's important, not necessarily mine. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're conservative. I don't care if you're liberal. I don't care if you're Democrat. I want to hear your opinion on these topics. I want to thank you yet again for listening to my video. Like, subscribe, and all that other hoopla This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.